Hello, my brothers and sisters in music. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 things you absolutely need if you want to become a full-time music composer for moving media. Not just making music for brands, not just making music for video games, not just making music for films, but I believe the 3 things that I'm going to talk about today apply to all of these worlds, to anybody who wants to become a commissioned craftsperson in high demand working on world-class projects. Number 1, sensibility. What is that all about? It's a big word, a lot of syllables, but I'm going to keep it very simple for you. Sensibility is who you are and how you do things. Because a lot of you get tied up with setup, which VST to use, which plugin to use, or skill set, which technique to use, how to EQ a hi-hat. Folks, at the end of the day, it's not EQing your hi-hat. It's not your mixing board that's going to make or break your music career. It is who you are and how you do things. That is your sensibility. Think about it as a frequency, that you're on a certain kind of frequency that stands you apart from the rest of musicians. And this is why folks like me who hire freelance musicians want to work with you and not somebody else. If you look at Hans Zimmer, if you look at Danny Elfman, they both have great studios, they both have great talent, they both have great body of work, hundreds of films that they've done. So what separates them? It's their frequency, it's their sensibility. It is why certain film directors will prefer to work with Danny Elfman rather than Hans Zimmer. It's all to do with who they are and how they work. And so for you, my dear friend, in order to transform from an amateur to a professional, you basically have to become aware that it is who you are and how you do things that's going to make all the difference in your transformation. What is the difference between an amateur and a pro? Let's talk about this. Pros are reliable. It's amazing how many times I talk to my peers in the business, whether they're music producers or composers, and they always tell me that it's their reliability that has made the biggest difference. Answering the email right away, being reachable, delivering consistently, time after time, being trusted to deliver the 27th revision with enthusiasm, with energy, with effectiveness. Folks, this is what I mean about sensibility. It's who you are and how you do things. Who you are what you eat. So what are you reading? What are you consuming? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of people are you surrounding yourselves with? What kind of channels are you subscribing to? I hope you're subscribing to this one. If not, please hit subscribe right now. What you consume is going to determine who you are. So the more you surround yourself with the right mentors, with the right people who have higher standards, the more likely that you're going to aspire to those standards as well, and that's going to make a whole world of a difference to your sensibility. Number 2, your setup. In our business, deadlines are deadly. Sometimes we have 24 hours to deliver a track to a client, which means that you cannot afford not to be self-reliant, not to be a master of your setup that's going to allow you to create fully polished demos quickly and consistently. That's going to allow you to revise these, to open your session very quickly, and to make a revision. If you do not have the setup, you have to count on somebody else. For Jim to lend you a microphone, for James to record your drum set. I hear from musicians all the time who say, you know what, I'm a really great songwriter, but I need somebody to record my stuff to mix it and all that. Unfortunately, you're not going to be a great candidate because you're just not going to be able to deliver the music quickly. And that's very important. And today more than ever, we have the tools. We have the ability in order to be self-reliant, in order to be able to, on our own setup, whatever the setup is, create fully polished demos quickly. Now, your setup, there's no prescription for a setup. People always ask me, what do the professionals use? They use whatever they need to use to express their sound. So your setup should serve you. You should not be serving your gear. This is the difference between amateurs and pros. Amateurs keep collecting gear. Amateurs keep telling themselves that, oh, when I get this sound card, when I get this mixing board, when I get this laptop, then I'm going to be ready to reach out to the industry. Then I'm going to be ready to turn pro. That's not how it works, folks. Pros understand that gear serves them. It's not about the gear, it's about the goosebumps. It's not about the monitors. It's about what comes out of them and how it makes me feel. There's no prescription for a setup. You can have a cheap Focusrite sound card, or you can have a very expensive RME sound card. Nobody, absolutely nobody is gonna care. The only thing you need to worry about is the goosebumps, not the gear, the goosebumps. All right, folks. So as long as you're able to create fully polished demos quickly, that's all that matters. And your setup should reflect your superpower. So if you're a guitar player, you need to figure out a setup that's going to allow you to record yourself in a way that makes your guitar sound great and in a way that's going to move human beings who listen to your song, your composition. If you're an electronic musician, you can probably do a lot of things in the box. The musicians that I work with on big brand campaigns, they normally do everything in the box. In fact, they do it on their laptop. Some of them don't even have a sound card that they connect, and they're still sending me magic. Do I care that they don't have a sound card? I don't care. As long as you're solving a problem, as long as you're giving me goosebumps, I don't care how you came up with it. But you need to have a setup. You need to be self-reliant so that you can send me music quickly, consistently, without any hitches, without any delays. The number 3 thing I want to talk about is skill. Obviously, in order to be a full-time composer for moving media, you need to be able to create world-class music. And again, I don't care what your style is. We have different kinds of musical styles in the world of advertising. Hip-hop, trap, drum and bass, electro, pop, classical, orchestral, hybrid that combines them both, vintage tracks, blues, jazz. It's all there, folks. It's all there. But the difference between somebody who just writes songs for records and somebody who writes songs, for instance, for moving media, is that you have to learn how to twist and turn your songs and your compositions in order to meet the needs of the picture, in order to meet the needs of the story. I work with a lot of musicians in our academy who we get to write real commercials, and then we give them feedback on these commercials. And one mistake that I see is that people write their music to a film or to a commercial, and the music is working according to its own laws. Well, guess what, folks? In our business, you have to learn how to twist and turn your music so that it fits exactly the needs of the picture. So maybe it feels a bit uncomfortable to end the verse earlier and to get into a chorus, but maybe that's exactly what the song needs to do. And the more you learn the skill of doing this, of being able to write your music in parts, in chapters that are gracefully going from intro to verse to chorus in a very short amount of time and constantly shifting, constantly taking me on a roller coaster ride, the better your craft will be. Another really big skill that you need to learn is reverse engineering. When you're given a commission, a lot of times you will have what's called temp tracks or reference tracks. In other words, the client will have an idea of what they want the music to sound like. And your job, and this is what I see musicians struggling with sometimes, is being able to reverse engineer these tracks, being able to dissect them, to take them apart, to understand what makes them special, what makes the client like them, how are they structured, what sounds are they made up of, what chord progressions are they using, what key are they in. All of this you have to dissect like a nerd that's able to break down these reference tracks and be able to build something up that's inspired by them, but that's not copying them. And that's a mistake that I see a lot of musicians make in our masterclass, for instance. When I give them a reference, I give them a commercial to score. Next thing you know, I get something back and I see 0 common denominators. I see 0 similarities between the reference track and how it made me feel and the track that they have submitted to me. And that's why I believe having mentors, having a feedback is very important, because it's going to allow you to test your skill against real world opportunities. And this is something that we offer in our masterclass. The way to see whether your skill is on par right now or how far you are away from the world-class skill set that is required to work in our business, the best way I know is to go to music production company websites who are going to be your clients, maybe now, maybe in the future, and see what they have on their reel. You can go to my site, go to TommyZ.co, take a look at my reel and see, is there anything on the reel that corresponds to your sound, and can you make something like it? And if you can't, listen to the music that's on my reel and understand what are the differences between where you are now and the track that you're hearing. What do you need to brush up on? Maybe mixing, mastering, maybe your composition, maybe you need to upgrade your sounds. But understanding the difference between the music that the market is creating, the music that your clients want, and the music that you're making right now, just understanding the difference and what you need to do to bridge the gap in that difference is already a huge skill and asset that's going to help you to improve your craft. So these are the 3 S's, folks. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions about what we spoke about today, please put them in the comments below. If you know any musicians who want to make a living making music from their home studio for big brand campaigns, please share this channel with them, share this video with them. I'm sure they will appreciate it. My name is Tommy Z, and I'll see you in the next video.